Are you tired of running out of ammo? Testosterone overload! No problem. All you need is Solar Plexus. Heavy-handed? And this broken-ass leg armor. Then you can do this, and this dumb shit too. Masculinity overflowing! You'll turn into a flaming, flying trailer hitch. Titan Smash!
The crudely filmed 90s-esque ad in the beginning of this video should have summed it all up. As a result, we're using the top tree Sunbreaker for an added emphasis on breaking things. This will literally turn you into a trailer hitch that can fly, and it's on fire. There's only one ability that actually matters for this, and that is the Hammer Strike, which is a vehemently powerful shoulder charge that also applies a debuff to the target unfortunate enough to be in its flight path. That debuff is key, so write it down. Sully, I'm lazy. Make the scene move. The Monte Carlo is an absolute must for this. If you have heavy-handed and a shotgun, that will also work, but we want Monte Carlo for its perk, which restores melee energy every time you damage an enemy with it. And if you're lucky, killing an enemy can restore your melee command to full energy. This is key for what we're doing here. If you insist on taking this out into ordeals and anything that has or will have champions, you need to have something that can pierce barriers and prog a breach resonator. There are many pulse rifles to choose from, but I like this one, and it serves me well. It's got a decent handling stat, a quick reload, and just enough damage to make it feel like it's more than just a pea shooter. You'll need Solar Plexus, which grants a significant boost in damage to all solar melee abilities across all classes. Things will die way faster if you have this equipped, and honestly, come to think about it, that's all there really is to say about this. It hurts. Next, you'll need heavy-handed on top of taking charge or empowering finish. These are relative depending on a few things. Taking charge lets you gain charges of light via orbs of light, and empowering finish charges you with light when you execute a finisher on an enemy at the cost of 1/10 of your supercharge. They can both be helpful, but I found the finisher mod to be the most efficient. Absolution is a good perk to take with you on your class item as well, if you bring taking charge with you. Orbs will charge you with light and restore a small portion of melee energy, which adds up, especially when heavy-handed fills your melee energy to half every time you use a melee ability with a stack of charged with light. I know that sounded like one giant jumbled run-on sentence, but I promise you it does make sense, and I'll explain it here in a minute. You will need the Peregrine Greaves for their perk. These amplify your shoulder charge damage significantly, and the increase is really good too. While my calculations might be a little off, previous research implies that hitting someone with a Peregrine Strike is no different than throwing a vending machine at them. Now, for the sake of showing the difference in damage, the first set of footage that you're going to see here was recorded without Solar Plexus, so the difference is staggering. Lastly, I definitely recommend keeping your strength up in a higher tier. Even with heavy-handed, you'll need that extra boost. Crazy things can happen out there, and every boost you can get will help significantly. To give you an example here, we're at my tribute hall for the moment. This footage specifically was taken without Solar Plexus equipped, as I didn't have a place to put it yet, but on paper, this is how it works. First, you want to make sure that you have a few stacks of charged with light, hence the finishers here, because you can't generate orbs for yourself in the tribute hall. Once you're charged, you can go smash your target, whatever that may be. As soon as that melee strike connects, you will instantly regain half of your melee energy, and that's where the Monte Carlo comes into play. Monte Carlo method restores melee energy on damage dealt, with a small chance to restore all melee energy on a successful kill. From there, you just rinse and repeat. It's fairly simple. In smaller encounters with more powerful enemies, this can very quickly turn into a circle, and honestly that's kind of the point. As I said, you hammer strike, you charge, you hammer strike, you charge, so on, so forth. It's easy. The footage you're about to see has both heavy-handed and Solar Plexus equipped, so you will notice a significant difference in shoulder charge damage going out, and that's kind of the point. Regardless of what mods you bring with you, keeping a stack of charged with light is a big thing to remember here. Without it, your melee command takes twice as long to recharge. Even with Monte Carlo, it's still better to keep 2 charges active at all times. In the footage that you're seeing here, I'm using Empowered Finisher, and luckily I never actually had to use it, but these targets here are just minors. Majors are significantly harder to deal with, have more health, meaning multi-kills can be harder to come by. That's one of the reasons why I recommend Empowering Finish for the stack charge as a just-in-case type thing. Just like any other Titan build, you can gallivant around the arena unfazed by virtually everything with the right stats, but the key here is to stay on the move. Hammer Strike doesn't proc unless you've been sprinting for at least 3 seconds, and even then, you need to be in the air to proc Peregrine Strike. What happens here is 2 stacking damage buffs take over when you initiate a shoulder charge. You have its base damage, plus the Peregrine Strike for bonus damage in air, on top of Solar Plexus, which is at the very least a 10 to 15% increase, so you can effectively hammer strike a boss twice and then he's down for the count. After a successful hammer strike, your melee energy should be half full, which is when you swap back to Monte Carlo and let the bullet storm begin. Within seconds you'll have another melee strike ready to use, and thus the encounter will be over in a matter of seconds. This isn't exactly a complete build as much as it is something that I've been playing around with in conjunction with the new Dawn mods. I know this video is a bit shorter than normal, but that's because realistically there isn't much to say about this one. Monte Carlo, heavy-handed, Peregrine Greaves, Titan smash. Easy. I'm working on a build based around the Mark 44 stand-asides that should be done within the coming week. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that maybe, just maybe, I might have learned you something today. So stay tuned for new updates, and if you're feeling generous, come follow me on Twitter at jayboygaming_YT, which is where all the real ranting and the magic happens. Or you can come follow me on Twitch at jayboy_TV. Until next time, Jayboy out.